This is Yes, No, Maybe, a game where you have to guess the word that is displayed on your opponent's screen, and since I'm one of the smartest YouTubers alive, I decided to test it myself. The game begins, and I asked some basic questions, like if it's a food, color, or country. Then I asked if it's an object, and he said yes. I then proceeded to ask, is it in a school or a house? He said no, but at least there was progress. I asked if the object is small and needed, and he said maybe, meaning it's something you need. Then I asked the obvious if it's a chair or a table. Of course the answer was no. Then I asked the question, is it used every day? And he said yes. At that moment I instantly knew the answer. I typed phone and he said yes. But there was a problem. I didn't know how to lock in my answer since it was my first time playing.
Damn it!
Then I asked if this was how the game ends, and he said no. I thought carefully and finally realized I just have to type the answer. I did, and I won. But I felt like it was too short, so I decided to play again. I'm still playing as a guesser, since it's more fun playing at the lower end. The game begins, and I asked the basic questions again, like food, color, and object. Then I asked if it's an animal, and she said yes. This was the first step in claiming victory. I also noticed it was a 3-letter word, meaning this should be a breeze. I said the normal ones, like dog, cat, and even ant. But she said no. Then I asked if it's a pet, and she said yes. Just to confirm, I asked if it's a mammal, and she said yes. Only one answer came to mind. I typed her at, but it wasn't the answer. I was stunned. I was wondering what else could the answer be. I thought of every possible pet, from a hamster to a guinea pig to even a rabbit, but none of them were 3 letters, and this was a fine girl. I couldn't fumble. Only 30 seconds remained. After thinking for so long, I accepted the loss, but on a last-ditch effort, I typed bats because of Batman. To think on the brink of loss, Batman was my final hope.
Surprise, motherfucker!
And shockingly, bat was the correct answer. Subscribe if you think a bat is not a pet.